Now let's talk about how to select the key items. So you know that the criteria to select the key items is that as long as the transaction amount is above or below the limits, then we include the transaction as the key item. But how can we operationalize this procedure? So here is one way that we can do it. You remember earlier that in our previous sequence, we read the data from the population data CSV from this file, and we save the data table into the variable dt pop data. So in other words, the dt pop data should look exactly the same like the population data, right? So let's imagine that. Let me go back to the select sample sequence. Let's imagine that we can create an extra column named key item. So here you do not need to do this, right? I'm just illustrating how we operationalize this. Imagine that we can create a new column named key item in the dt pop data, the variable, the data table variable that we created. So we have this new column, and we assign either 0 or 1 to this column to indicate whether the transaction amount is within or outside the limits. For example, for the first transaction, the amount is within the limits, so we assign the value of this key item as 0. So on and so forth, right? So for the second transaction, it's still within the limit, within the limit, within the limit. And let's say in some transaction, this is wrong, but let's say we have this transaction that is outside the limit, and then we assign it as value 1. And then we can use a filtering function to filter these transactions by the value of the column key item. So the key item transactions will be the transactions that have the key item value as 1. So this is how we are going to select the key items. So let me clear what I created here. And let's operationalize this procedure in our automation. So first, we are going to add a column. So we are going to use the activity named add data column. Let's drag and drop this activity within the sequence of select key items. Here, in the column name, let's use key item in quotation mark. And this means we're adding a new column named key item. In the data table, let's use dt pop data. This indicates we're adding the extra column to the dt pop data. Now, we want to compare the amount of each transaction to the upper or lower limits. So we are going to use a loop of the for each row. So let's drag and drop a for each row activity right after add data column. And we are going to say for each row in dt pop data. And inside the body, we are going to use the if activity because we are going to compare the transaction amount with the upper or lower limits. So that is the if-then criteria. So here, let's use if. For the condition, here we are going to compare the transaction amount with upper or lower limits. Because we have two criteria here. So the first one is if the amount is above the upper limit, then it's going to be a key item. Otherwise, we need to compare the amount with the lower limit, right? And if it's lower than the lower limit, then it's also a key item. Otherwise, it's going to be a non-key item. So let's first deal with the upper limit. Here, please type the following: convert dot to decimal in parentheses row dot item in parentheses again and in quotation marks amount greater than upper limit. Now you may wonder, why do we need to convert to decimal? This is because if we directly use the row item amount, this is not a numeric value. So here we are converting it to a numeric value. In the then section, we are going to use an assign activity. And here we are going to assign the row dot item in parentheses key item into 1. So this is saying that if the amount is greater than the upper limit, then it is a key item. And in the else section, we need to deal with the lower limit. So we need to use another if activity. So let's drag and drop another if activity in the else section. Here, you can copy what we did earlier and paste the VB here, but change the greater than sign into smaller than and change the upper limit into lower limit. And for the then activity, it's going to be the same. So it's going to be an assign activity where we assign the value of the key item into 1, because the condition is that if the amount is lower than the lower limit. In the else section, we are going to assign the value of the key item into 0. So this is a complete view of the for each row. So here we are comparing the amount of each transaction to the upper and lower limit. And we achieve this by using a nested if-then activity. So in the outer side of the if activity, we compare the amount with the upper limit. And if it's true, then it's a key item. Otherwise, we further compare the amount with the lower limit. If it's below the lower limit, it's also a key item. And otherwise, it's going to be a non-key item. You can also use a switch activity to represent the same procedure here. Now, we assign the values to the key item column. Next, we can use the filtering activity to filter out the transactions with the key item value of 1. So we can collapse the for each row and then use a filter data activity. So let's drag and drop this filter data table after the for each row. And let's click the filter wizard. Here, let's click keep. And for the column, we are filtering by the value of key item column. So here, let's provide the key item column name and make sure that you put it in quotation mark. Here, the condition is key item equals 1 and click OK. In the property side, in the input, we are providing the DT pop data. And let's create a new data table variable to store the key item transactions. So in the output section, let's create a new variable and let's name it as DT key item. Now we can go to the variable section and also change the scope of the variable DT key item into flowchart. Now that we obtain the key item transactions, next we are going to write these transactions to the working paper. Now let me open the working paper. We are going to provide the key item transactions in the section of the sample selection. So we are going to paste the transactions around here. So first, we are going to use an Excel application scope. So let's search for the Excel application scope and drag and drop it after the filter data table. For the workbook path, let's provide working paper.xlsx. Now we're going to use a write range activity from the Excel automation. And we're going to write to the sheet of sample selection. And the data table that we want to put there is the DT key item. Now, the problem is from where we are going to insert the table. It's definitely not from cell A1, so let's delete it first. And from here, we can see that we are going to copy the data or the transactions from cell A21, right? So an easy way to put the cell here is A21. But here, I will show you a method of knowing which cell you are going to write into without looking at the spreadsheet and count the numbers. So the method is as follows. we are going to read the entire table from working paper. So that means when you use a read range activity, you are going to read the entire table until here. And then we are going to count how many rows are in this table. So here we have, we have 20 actually, but when we use the count activity, it will exclude the header. So that means the automation will only count from here. So it's going to be 19 rows, right? And we want to write from A21. So 19 plus 2 is 21, right? So here we have this rule. We are going to read the entire existing table and count the number of rows excluding the header, and the cell that we are going to write to is the number of the rows plus 2. So you will see later how to operationalize. So let's go ahead and before the write range, let's use an activity of read range. And let's drag and drop the read range from Excel activity inside the do, but before the write range. And here we are reading from sample selection. And we are reading the entire table, so we leave this as blank. And in the output section, let's create a new variable named existing table. And next, and below the read range, let's use an assign activity. And here we are going to create a variable to store the value of the number of rows of the existing table. So in the to side, let's create a new variable named last row. And in the VB section, let's put the following: existing table dot rows dot count, and click OK. And now we have this error message showing that we need to change the variable type of this last row. So let's go ahead, go to the variable section, and change the variable type of the last row into integer. Okay, now you can see that the error message is gone. Now we have this idea of how to represent the cell to write to. So here we are inserting to column A, right? We're going to insert in here. So let's do the following. It's going to be cell A concatenated with, in parentheses, last row plus 2, and then toString. So here, if we look at this table, the last row will be 19 because the entire table is from A1 to Q20. And if we count the number of rows excluding the first row, which is the header, then we have 19 rows. And since we are going to write to A21, so 19 plus 2 is 21. So here, to make it generalizable, it's going to be last row, the number of rows, plus 2 toString. So in this way, no matter what changes above this ID, we can always get to the correct place to insert the transactions. So in that way, you do not need to open the Excel and see, oh, this is where I need to insert. So we basically automate this procedure of getting the cell index where we are going to insert the data. Now, once we write the sample to the sample selection area, we can then use a save workbook activity to save our work. Now let's save the project. Now we can test our automation and see whether everything works so far. And before you click the Run button, let's make sure that you deleted your previous work and close the Excel file. So now we can see that our automation is able to get all these key item transactions, and we have 11 of them, and paste it to the correct section, right after the ID. And we also have the screenshot here. Now we can delete whatever is stored here so that we can have a clean start when we run the automation again. And save it.